Hey guys, welcome back to 5 Star Reviews. Today I'm just going to give you guys a breakdown of what I read this past month, along with a quick review about each one. So, the first book I read this month was Dune Messiah. So, I read the first Dune book and I really liked it. It was tough to read in certain points, but overall I really liked the world, the characters, everything about it. So, I went and saw the first movie and I was like, okay, I want to keep reading, so let's get the next one. And I picked up Dune Messiah, and what I can say about it is that it's a pretty great epilogue if you're a fan of the Paul character. It focuses heavily on Paul and kind of how he feels about the events of the first Dune, as well as the fact that he kind of created something that he can control. So it's not really the next chapter in the story, in my opinion. It's more of an epilogue. It's a lot shorter than the first Doom book, and in my opinion, easier to read than the first Doom book. So you can breeze through it a lot quicker. And overall, if you're into the Paul character and kind of his relationships with different characters, more so than like action, because there's not much action in this. It's more about how Paul feels and the internal politics of the world around him. The fact that he's basically the emperor of this new world. I'm going to give this book a 4 out of 5, with the caveat that you really have to care about the Paul character and you have to kind of understand that this isn't heavily focused on action. It's more of a character study epilogue, and it's a great ending for Paul. You can read the first 2 Dune books and be satisfied. It's a great character arc for Paul, and it does a great job in characterizing him. You can read the next Dune books. I plan to, obviously, but I understand that if you're a fan of Paul the character, this is where you should stop. If you're a fan of the Dune universe, you can keep reading. So that's it, 4 out of 5 for Dune Messiah. Moving on to book 2 I read this month was Fast Food Nation. Fast Food Nation is something that I've been interested in, basically because of the fact that I've been trying to eat a little healthier, live healthier, and I want to start understanding the world around me a little bit more, be more cognizant of the decisions I make. So I thought, what better way to do that than to really understand about this huge industry that dominates America. The book does a great job in teaching you about the origins of the fast food industry, the marketing techniques they use to get people to buy the food, the strategies they use to make money, and just the overall corporate greed and just the strategies that corporations have used that have arguably gone too far, which have led to a lot of people being overweight with health issues for the fact to make money. And you can have your own opinion about that. Does a great job in opening your mind to the possibilities of the fact that these companies make calculated decisions, and those calculated decisions affect everyday life. So give Fast Food Nation a read if you're interested in the subject of healthy eating, being more cognizant of the world around you, and just understanding the fast food industry. So I give that book a 3.5 out of 5, with the caveat that you really have to be interested in the subject matter. So moving on to book number 3, The Subtle Art of Not Giving Up. This book does a great job in kind of spinning the self-help book, upside down. It really talks about the fact that you only have a certain amount of energy to care about a certain amount of things in your life, and you have to actively decide what you're going to care about. It makes you as a reader think about the fact that you're not really that special, which I love. I think it's a really important point that there's so many people on this planet, we can't all be special, at least not in my opinion. And that we need to kind of understand that and come to terms with that and pick how we're going to spend our life and what we're going to choose to focus on. And this book does a great job in that. So if you're interested at all in your life in a different way, understanding the decisions you make a little more, thinking about the decisions you make before you make them, and what to spend your energy and time on, and what is important to you, please give The Subtle Art of Not Giving Up a read. It's very short. It's a quick read, and it's really insightful. You don't have to agree with everything the author says, but it's just a great thought-provoking book in my opinion. So, yep. Moving on to something a little lighter, I read this month, The Murder on the Orient Express by, of course, the great Agatha Christie. Historic author, historic book. I kind of think this book is like a history book and a murder mystery because, it's written in a modern time of the time that the book was written, if that makes sense. So you kind of get to step back in kind of like a time machine and really understand how people lived back then, or how the upper class lived back then. And along with it, you get a great mystery all in one location, which is pretty cool, and with an iconic ending that I'm not going to spoil for you guys, but if you know, you know. And it's also pretty quick, so a quick read that gives you some kind of historical knowledge as well, a great mystery, and it's a great book to kind of focus your mind on and get away from the outside noise. This is going to be a 4 out of 5 for me. I really enjoyed Murder on the Orient Express. So the last book I read this month, and I say read in quotations because I didn't finish this book, was the great, I wouldn't say great actually, the famous Catch-22. Man, I couldn't I couldn't do it, guys. I got like 130 pages in and I put it down. I didn't like the writing style. I didn't like the characters. The thing about this book appealed to me. The comedy wasn't, making me laugh. It just overall was a letdown. And I wanted to give more of a historical book a chance, a book that people have praised a chance for. And man, I understand that the ending is great and I need to maybe push through, but I read for entertainment and educational purposes to educate myself and to entertain myself. And that wasn't happening at all. I wasn't really learning anything and I wasn't really entertained. So I put the book down. Maybe I'll pick it up later on when I have some extra free time, but overall, it's not something I'm going to read anytime soon. So that one's going to have to be like a 2 out of 5 with the caveat that I didn't finish it. So that's pretty much it, guys. Just wanted to give you a quick update on what I've been reading this last month. Please leave any books you read this last month in the comments down below. And any content ideas you want me to do, just leave them in the comments. Feel free to give me any constructive criticism. And thanks, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next episode of 5 Star Reviews. Goodbye, guys.